Good day, this is Ray Roberts. I haven't made a video in a while and want to share some thoughts with you about education. I want to start this conversation with a quote that's attributed to Albert Einstein. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. I think it's a great quote to kind of summarize my thoughts about what we should be doing in schools, what we should be doing as educators, as teachers. My first thought is the idea that as teachers, as educators, as administrators, as schools leaders, we are continuously learning. We'll never get to the point where we know it all, because education is an innovative process. You have to understand that education as we know it is relatively new. The practices that we implement in classrooms on a daily basis many of these practices are untested. Some of them are wanting. So we have to find innovative ways to teach children. This means we must be studied. We must be a student of pedagogy. We must study. We must try. We must learn. We must reflect. This means when you get into the business of teaching, you must be a researcher. Teaching is not a job, it's a craft, it's a skill. You have to put your 10,000 hours, 10 years in, plus, just to get kind of good. You must be dedicated to the cause of teaching and learning. And you must start with understanding that you don't know it all. Moreover, when we operate in schools, we should be operating as teams. It should be a collaborative effort. One vision, shared vision. Everyone down to the custodian, the janitor, the IT people, the cafeteria people. Everyone must understand what the vision is and be able to communicate that vision, regardless of what they do in the school. We must operate on a shared vision. We cannot teach as an island amongst ourselves. We should be teaching situationally based on things and context, things that the student understands, knows. The cornerstone of what we teach needs to be based on what the student enjoys, what they're interested in, and what they already know. This is the basics of teaching. And you must be dedicated to knowing your student. You must be dedicated to not providing them an education that comes out of a textbook or a regurgitation of someone else's beliefs. You must know what is relevant to your student, what they need, what they will need to be the leaders of tomorrow. What will they need to thrive? What will they need to be successful in every aspect, regardless of what subject you teach? This you must dedicate yourself to. And you must know what they need and what they want. And you must master the craft of communicating what you know, plus the core curriculum, the core content, and make it relevant to the student. You must take your experiences and make it relevant to the student. It's all contextual. You must be there for your students. You must be there for your team members. All your decisions must be informed decisions. You must be a researcher. You must read and read to encourage your students to read. You must make informed decisions based on data, based on trends. You must analyze test scores. You must analyze writing samples. You must collaborate. Talk to past teachers. Talk to future teachers. Talk to current teachers. Team teach. Talk to parents, community members. You must yourself continue your educational and academic pursuits. You cannot be mediocre in this regard. So I implore you, I ask you, I beg you, if you want to get into this wonderful world of teaching, this beautiful discipline, take it seriously. Understand that it's not easy, it's very difficult. You can't take a TESOL course, you can't take a CELTA course, you can't get a degree and think that it's supposed to be a magic wand and everything, you will know everything. You can't take a professional development and think that you're going to learn it all. You can't hear someone from the book publisher convince you that technology is going to solve your problems in the classroom. Because when we are underqualified, when we don't care, when we don't have faith in our students, when we don't have faith in the process, when there's not a shared vision and there's not a purpose, there's not a plan, if we're not working our plan and planning our work, technology will dominate. We will fall victims to robots, just like every other industry. Automation will run the classroom if we do not get our act together as educators. So I implore you, I beg you, when you operate in your classrooms, you operate with sincerity. You operate with knowledge. You know what your students need to thrive. You get to know your students from the perspective of providing the best service you possibly can for them. And just like religion, where you have to open up your Quran, you have to open up your Bible, you have to open up whatever book that you study from. And without doing that, you don't really know your religion. The same thing with teaching. If you're not continuously improving yourself, if you're not collaborating, if you're not interfacing, if you're not writing papers, if you're not advancing your educational pursuits, if you're not reading journals, if you don't know the latest and greatest, then you are wrong and you're failing your students. Please, we have to do a better job, because right now we're doing a very poor job. Remember, be someone's champion. Thank you.